Abom ana esibo so Martin Kpebu ni NDC ni Mahama nya sem ketu na TV trust President Mahama o record nye o record ye terrible simple nya kufa na cheche nkrofo obi aka sam na etiama na mache no obi ka say na mache no ka bintel ansam o kan kroma oba mo man national security protection national security protection and before then no maka we no tisi afeyo na ya no say na ja anja ntwa so be pagana foto ya sumanse kwaje lete no obi aka nobody afeyo insult awon insult o ne say mo ko Bank of Ghana mo reference ma mo ka kira branch na no obeje document na then no ena Martin Kpebu nsam ne mu do tu say atapona fanzo kan se crap so twa no so because so was he say no pe Mahama za mo nkire so mo metra radio so na de bia ne TV no me defend Mahama obeka Mahama record ne nye onya nkrofo no chichichichi wo na fanyo nye boni bia na ya da ntokwa ne say pa fanyo ma akencho baba mo TV and then interestingly Martin Kpebu be ya de bi na me bo video no me chiro bibi wo make sure so subscribe your mom subscribe and click the notification the video be to be 100 should we have a comment feel free leave that comment in the comment section we are make sure so be back home assist property be away be our endeavor be our encounter and be away Ghana be our put be checks na mo be my feedbacks cosign with videos with pictures and real time live so call you Facebook live na YouTube live so be a Facebook a video call na who be a kama no confirm be a back home assist from na come website o me show na bibia kama the amount on NPP demu ya na Martin Kpebu comment bi enyansem ketwa no kekan tie bi
yeah. So on the demo, you see, let's say this, generally is their right to demonstrate, right? So as a lawyer I cannot be heard to say they shouldn't demonstrate. I mean, you know, the Constitution, Article 21 of the Constitution, freedom of assembly, etc. And we have a rich and long history of demonstrations. So it's okay. What they've done galvanizes their base, because if you look at the numbers, it's good, because you know that the way NDC has a super majority in parliament, 2/3, etc., it's good to have a strong opposition. So once NPP is beginning to come together in order to help us keep the government in check, we should be happy, okay? That's in terms of the principle. The only part that detracts from what they're doing so far is the fact that when they were in government, we cautioned them, the bad governance, mampam, all those things. They didn't mind us, right? And then they led us into a ditch, bench borrowing, Oforiata and the president's family making money at our expense, etc. But unfortunately, we don't have any other strong opposition party. They are the strongest. So we are caught between a rock and a hard place. Okay? But because of the overarching need to be able to help keep government accountable and keep the NDC government on its toes, we are forced to, you know, let the NPP brief and then gather themselves well, because we can't say because of all the bad things they did, then they should just go away. They can't talk at all. No, if we're to do that, this government may also get swollen-headed and may begin to do things that, of course, already people are even grumbling, which is normal, because no matter how this government treats us, it's always also important that people will continue to complain, because it's the complaints that act as the fuel, it's the complaint that acts as the oxygen to be able to cause the government to think harder and to improve our lot. Because all over the world, even the advanced countries, Norway, etc., where the living standards are far better, you still find citizens grumbling. So that is part of nature. You always need citizens to grumble, citizens to complain, so that it will move the government to do better. So for me, it's okay. It's okay. The only other point we should be mentioning is the barrage of insults. The listen, Afinyo Markins, you are nobody, and then Jantua, right? Not saying it negative, it was okay, but unfortunately hours on Then Nanaya went to Asempa FM and now sought to reply. That one, to be very honest, it leaves a lot to be desired. I think that something has to be done. What Afinyo Markin said, you are nobody. It was similar to what Atu Forsen and Sami Jemfi and Co did when they went to present their petition during the Kufuor regime. At that time, you know, the man they keep referring, let's correct this thing. The man they keep referring to as security man, he was a big man in the Air Force, and he was my mate in law school. So when we were even in law school, at that time, he was wing commander. Then after law school, more than 10 years, I'm sure he got several promotions. We can Google and see. That was a big man in the Air Force and a lawyer at that. But when he retired, then he got a job at the Bank of Ghana as head of security. But that's a senior military officer at Saribuating. He was my classmate in law school.
Right.
You say. And so the title, you just look at the title and said, so at that time, the NDC said it was disrespectful for Saribuating to come and receive the petition. And now, so if Avenue Markins comes to say, Nanaya is nobody, to be very candid with you, it's not an insult. Look, our democracy is stronger than this. I told you that in 1999 we sang Kum JJ Maye, Nyami Kum JJ Maye, and I'm telling you that that song is older. We are not going back. Look, sometimes public discourse need to be caustic. That's how can JM himself called Ekufuor and Co. Achim Sakawa Mafia. That's what JM said. Who arrested JM? So these things, I think government, the JM has to talk to his people that, listen, they need to develop a tough skin. We've given them positions, they are servants, they should serve well. They are not to lord it over us. So if Afenyo Markin say, you are nobody, I don't know how nobody is such an insult. We've moved on. Look, Rawlings called Kufuor a thief. Rawlings called Kufuor a thief. What did Kufuor as president do to Rawlings? Why do we have public officers suddenly developing very thin skin? They listen, you are a nobody. What is an insult about nobody? Okay. Well, so that part, I think JM and his people, they need to set by. I think to be very...
that's your, that's your view. But then again, you grant Nanaya Jantua that right of how she feels about it.
Because no, but she's a public officer. It's not private feelings. I mean, she was standing in for the president. So throughout, she even said it, that she was representing the president. So you don't do well in receiving the petition. Then you go 2 hours later, she couldn't temporize. That's when her anger now came out. No, we can't. Remember, look, Anatete, you remember in 2015, Occupy Flagstaff House, when they went to, she did one small tweet, and see how Ghanaians punish NDC for it. So I think that, look, they should look at it. I think an apology will be in order. Let's remember the Anatete. Look, Ghanaians are very shrewd, though. Ghanaians are very savvy. Don't think that that's the end of this episode. Wait, in 2028, when they start playing it back, by then, there would have been a few other mistakes. When they put them together, NDC, they will win the election, but they will be in trouble. So I think that she has to come out and apologize. It's not about her feelings. We've put her in a public office. And in the Constitution, Article 1 says that sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana. So the people of Ghana are the masters. The public officer is not the boss. You are there to serve. So your master says something, you are not happy, there is a way you deal with it. Just remember the Hanatete tweet when Occupy Ghana went to serve during that demonstration. You see how coming to election they used it. So this particular Jantua video, that's not the end with Sinabari. So I think government should do a bit of damage control. She must come out and apologize for that speech that is unbecoming of a public officer. It cannot be accepted. When I call it one sentence, you see, let's understand that I'm a private citizen. So I can come up and say, Kufuor, Mampam, etc. We want to hold him account. But the public officer, you are in the saddle. It's different. You can't reply in that way. The citizens, as the sovereign, can say certain things, trying to, right? So the citizens can say certain things and go overboard. But the public officer, doesn't have that right of reply to insult back. Yours is to say, oh, my brother, stop this, etc. Give education. As long as you remain in that office. If you want to trade those barbs, then resign and come into private life. Then there can be a clash, but not whilst you are in that public office.
Right. Council, and on the want to me matter, I think you were drawing my attention. You wanted to make a quick input on that. Then we'll just move on.
Yeah, want to me, you know, like Adam Senanu said, to me's case, actually, it's not a good one for the demo because the facts have always been clear. We, like Adam Senanu said, we reported Wuntumi as far back as October 2022. That's the Tanon Nimiri Forest Galamsey. And so that's the case is now attending court. You know, he was convicted on the Samra Boy Forest one. But now the second Galamsey case is attending court. That's the one myself, Edem Senanu, Kenashigbe, Kwame Sapoesedu, we reported him to CID. By that time, Andokofi CID boss and Dampare, through politics, they sat on the case and never took it to court. Then thank God we voted NDC in, and then now we are having justice. So if you look at Wuntumi, say, how come, even apart from these two Galamsey cases, there were other cases, the Hansol case where AJ Frimpong, as trial judge, found out that they were doing Galamsey. There's another case in Takrade, Efia Nyako, Justice Efia Nyako, another case, Edua Mankwa Efia Nyako. Yeah. She also issues concerning Wuntumi's company, Hansol, Wuntumi lost. So there are two civil cases bordering on Galamsey, etc., that Wuntumi went to complain and lost. So this conviction is not his first brush with the law on Galamsey matters. So it's not a good case for the demonstration. But as I've said, no matter how, in order to keep NDC in check, we will need a strong opposition. But the other part of the demonstration, which that one, they have something to say and we are supporting, is the fact that for 1.5 years, this current administration has arrested more people on the matter of this free speech than Akufo-Addo's 8 years. It's a bad record. It's a bad record for JM. They should be careful. For 8 years, the number of people Akufo-Addo's administration arrested are not up to the number arrested in 1.5 years in JM's administration. That is a bad record. JM should pay attention. You see, these things, they start small. Before he discovers, all the goodwill will be gone. He should let people speak. Yes, they will say you are giant, you are this. But we're saying Akufo-Addo is stone deaf. Mampam, did Akufo-Addo arrest me?
Which you were made to obviously withdraw, obviously.
No, but we continue
then again,
since
yes,
then.
but
and even Nana Yajantwa, she herself, she called the Akufo-Addo Nebuchadnezzar. So anytime we say Nebuchadnezzar, it's Nana Yajantwa who popularized Akufo-Addo as Nebuchadnezzar. Look, let me land one second. Allow Ghanaians to land. Let me tell you, in South Africa, there's this case, the Constitutional Court killed the Boer, meaning killed the white man. It went to court. The South African Constitutional Court held that kill the white man, that song is a liberation song. It's not a song meaning literally just go and kill white. So it's the equivalent of our Kum JJ Mae and our Kum Akufo-Addo Mae. And don't be surprised if JM, they don't stamp this in very soon, that song will be sung for he JM. Listen, this country is far stronger. It's a rich history. Let's understand that area very well. Not the listing, no, you go and arrest people. No, JJ himself called Kufuor a thief, a sitting president. Kufuor didn't arrest JJ. If you like, just Google it. Even Black Rasta played back that tape just recently. Just Google it. JJ called Kufuor a sitting president a thief. Kufuor didn't arrest JJ because he understands that there's a grievance. If you enter public office, you need a thick skin. And that's what Okoboy, Dr. Okoboy, former, is it Minister of Health or Deputy? Yes, he said it. When you enter public office, you need a thick skin. So please, JM, I think they should sit up. As for the insults, there's little you can do. It's part of the accountability thing. That's our own thing. It's not going to go away. So we better maybe have a conference, rethink, but you can't shut people down by their arrest. No.
No, there's a question Adam Sand was put. I'll come to you. He said if that's the kind of standard that we should be setting for the democracy that we are practicing. The fact that certain comments, although derogatory, should be normalized, and having a thick skin for derogatory remarks. Is that what we want to hold as a standard for our politics, for our democracy, Kpebu?
Obviously no. Obviously no. But you don't use we, the top people, as the only standard. We have a lot of our people, and even when you say the top people, who are the top? I just told you that Jantua herself, she said Akufo-Addo is Nebuchadnezzar. Somebody made a song, Akufo-Addo is Mampam. Akufo-Addo didn't arrest that person. I also kept repeating it. My Mampam friend is Adam Bona. He likes that word. And then other people, Mampam, saying that Akufo-Addo is stone dead. JJ called Kufuor a thief, a certain president. That's even around the 2000s. So Kufuor didn't arrest JJ, etc. So that thing, we need to understand it well. It's easy to just come and sit there and say, that's not the standard. Yes, I also don't support it. But if you look at the groundswell, look at Kevin Taylor. Kevin Taylor, when he comes into Ghana, who protects him? It's not national security. You know all the things Kevin Taylor says, said against Akufo-Addo. You know all the things Kevin Taylor said against Akufo-Addo and his appointees. Yet when he comes into Ghana, it's James National Security that gives him protection. Please, so this thing, let's stop blowing hot and cold. It tells you that people are not happy. Yes, I support JM. I supported him because Akufo-Addo couldn't do better. But it doesn't mean if he does some things that are wrong, I will not say it. Just for example, I've told him that no, this extension from 4 years to 5 years is not on. I don't need to insult him. But I'm saying that people in expressing the dissent, sometimes the insults come. It's not the best. But arresting people too is not the best. At the end of the day, you end up arresting the whole society.
Yes, I agree in part, I disagree, but I see, and no. NDC for now because Martin Kpebu ajiska NPP for and then some NPP for the biomu dinner temi kibian some na Martin Kpebu yomu nyame. In fact, we try video see be share. That is it. So I'm the politics nkoso. I disagree in part, I agree in part. I disagree with the arrest. Everybody knows my view on the social deja vu. I don't want to go onto that matter. Where I also disagree with Martin is that I do me no must stop at a point. The same way people was not happy with what Sammy Jenfu of Atoforcing we say at the Bank of Movement. And if I know an account at the end, I say it must get to a point I do you politics no must stop. Unfortunately, political parties don't so it's a vicious cycle. Into BBC NDC man, you go back to records, but once the BBC see NPP. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And I would have expected the NDC to be to stop it. But unfortunately, and you want no man so near bechichi wo men no nkwaji position bi na bechi me daachi bi na be obi. Fortunately for me media mete ha ye chima no ma be video na me de nya kakra didi. Ntino ya kana mu nti a ye be koso na ma ye. I also disagree with Martin that it's becoming a culture you must accept. I don't think we should accept it. Unfortunately, it's a moral issue. And I think that is what we as a society, NCC, are sorry and everybody, and keep telling the youth that you can do your politics without doing so. Martin Kpebu is a very fiery commentator on national issues. You may not disagree with Nasam na all kind, but only what the you see those things. So that angle must be hammered on. It's not a culture. You shouldn't accept that it's a culture, baby. And now the papa is here to say a subculture, baby. And I did be keeping say now 160s ne krana. The media me follow your politics since 2006. That time about 12 years. You see, we follow your politics since 2006. No, insult no. Be last 10-15 years now. Yes, now home can say comfortable be no, but in some nan comfort me can no it me can publicly no. Sabe. Me hu bi kra che say obi hire timi de obi yire tompe. Hey, Debbie. Enya de papa. Na say me hu ba ku bi candidate ni be I can't say that because of a so a campus Wi-Fi. How do you even contemplate and write these things? So I don't know whether it's about psyche or it's about what. But there's a and they say obi o tell me love for me. The way the youth is going there. Me say TikTok. And man last month, baby. a man call life. Yeah, maybe call them out more sky 100 cities, and people are doing it. So the thinking of our youth and then everything is money. So far as someone who incentivize them to go and do anything, they will go and do it. You've seen examples of the demonstration. The lady in the testimony. So all these things are the lady will say, oh, someone's on baby. She will do it because they are susceptible. Uni baby I call uni juma papa be our tray. Unya 150 in the Korean, but those are the things I think that we need to be hammered. We all be our China. Hey, but as I've always say, my only caveat issue is when it's about threat on the person's life. That one, you need to be arrested, investigate to see if you have the potential to carry out the threat. If you have the potential, they want to persecute you. I have no problem with that. If you don't have the potential, they will let you go. So that's also fine. So, and I don't know what to make of this. Feel free, share that view in the comment section. We are not subscribed. I'm not subscribed. I'm not clicking on the notification. The video be at my home. Now, what to me, I should be. Make sure so much on see them, mommy. Me here, Ghana, see here. Bye bye.